like Digan mentioned, our biggest upset of the entire day, entire tournament. Nobody thought that BOOM would have showed up the way that they did.
Personally, I think that for Bleed, they are their own biggest enemy in terms of mental, because it felt like the momentum coming in from BOOM from game 1 here was just so overwhelming, as well as the confidence. It was really hard for Bleed to really counter that. In terms of their play as well, it was really hard for Redla or even Darren to really pop up when they're just being shut down over and over.
Quite frankly, just heartbreaking. I mean, you don't drop a 30 bomb in the first map only to drop so far off with the second and then the third. It just, you don't expect to see that coming from Bleed, but of course, we have to give praise to BOOM because they just showed how they could dismantle this team.
Yeah, dismantle they did for the biggest upset of the tournament, and we find ourselves BOOM Esports in the grand finals. But today's matches will be all on that bottom side of the bracket. No more double elimination to save them. Team Secret and Onic will kick us off, and then Bleed that will be waiting there at the bottom there, right?
Yeah, it should be Bleed. I think BOOM should be coming tomorrow.
They already made it through the grand finals. They're the raid boss.
They're just super excited. Who doesn't want to see BOOM?
Yeah, all right. Well, BOOM will be waiting in the grand finals tomorrow, which means we'll set up for today's matches because we really can only talk about the one. We don't know who Bleed will be playing quite yet, but it'll be one of these two squads in Onic G versus Team Secret. And we're getting ourselves another one of those national pride matchups. It's the Philippines against Indonesia. It is a lot of, I guess, nerves on the line here because this could be it for both these squads.
I mean, the idea that if, say, Onic goes through and then finally beats Bleed, and then grand final is Indonesia versus Indonesia would be pretty crazy.
Wow, wait, Tash, wait a second, Tash. We're talking about this matchup first. You went two matches ahead. You went two matches ahead.
You went ahead and talked about nationalism, and I was like, what if it was Indonesia and Indonesia?
This is true. But there's a couple of other. Aren't you from the Singapore-Malaysia region? You skipped right by Bleed as well.
I love them.
All right.
But it was just a speculation moment.
I mean, yeah, I'm
what
inclined
if,
to say
right?
there is a chance. It could happen,
it can
Digan.
happen.
All right. Let's focus on this series then. I'll be specific. This series, Secret, Onic. Quack, you start first.
I do have my predictions, and of course, like Secret, they show that they have a lot of potential. It's again, like we've been talking about this the whole time. Every time Marquis is here, every time he's casting, it's always about Team Secret and the experience that they have. The fact that they have been playing for so long together throughout the entire scene. Some of these players are rather old, but that also just shows that they have a lot more to offer. And when it comes down to it, I think they can really step up and show that they have a lot more flexibility in terms of the strats that they can pull off.
I really like the fact that they're not only flexible, they're very, very creative. Right? They have some of the most interesting setups I've ever seen. And I remember that they said they used Killjoy as an entry, and it actually worked over in stage 2. But speaking of that, I really want to talk about Onic as well, because for Onic, they are a team that I always go like, gotta go fast, Sonic, and all eyes are always on Elmimor and Monyet. But to see yesterday's performance between NC Slash and Shiro has been on a whole other level, because it really shows that all eyes shouldn't just be on Monyet Elmimor, and it also should be on these two other players. And I think the pro about this team is that they're all able to fend for themselves. They don't really rely on the setups because their aims is just so phenomenal, especially from Monyet.
Yeah, I mean, we saw so much of that yesterday against Myth. So many times that they were just playing kind of defaulty strats, and Myth were playing incredibly slow as well. But when it came down to it, Onic just decided, all right, you know what, I've had enough of all this waiting. I just want to go. And you can just see players like Monyet decide, I don't need anyone else. I don't need to find any opening pick. I'm going to be the one to break open those doors.
Yeah, funny that we have Shiro and Jesse Vash as two of the top players, both of them coming as Sova players, fragging out. But yesterday for Team Secret, we finally got to see Dubstep step up into that role, and we know that Monyet's always going to bring it. Talk about the battle between those two duelists there, Tash.
Personally, when you look at Dubstep, he relies on the team setup. He relies on his teammates to actually give him that info before he can actually go off. As opposed to Monyet, who is definitely the definition of like W gaming, just goes in super aggressive, gets the headshot regardless of with or without his teammates' help. And I think that is his main strength compared to Dubstep.
Yeah, definitely a lot more so. confidence and momentum based, I think. Once you see Team Secret start to come in with that 3-4 win streak, that's when Dubstep really starts to feel it, and you can see that he starts to land his shots. If not though, then he starts to kind of falter a little bit. We start to see a lot of whiffs come into action. He relies on those setups a lot more, and the whole team just isn't really gelling well together or performing, and then we start to see that like it's not really on a top stroke.
I think this goes back to Team Secret in general. They win as a team, they play as a team, they lose as a team. It's very different to Onic, who has those players who can really band-aid any situations. Monyet and Elmimor are these two, I think, what I would say, the best examples of this. And regardless of that, I mean, at the end of the day, Valorant is still a 5v5 team play, but at the same time, you need to have the individual skills to bring you through. So at the end of the day, this is like two whole different extremes.
Yes, but I think you bring up a good point. It is a 5v5 game, and so we're highlighting some of the players that have done great. Now let's look on the opposite side, players that need to step up for this squad. And so I'm going to flip it with you guys first. I want you to go with the Onic member that you think needs to step up the most here, Quack.
Why you got to do this to us, I'm like the guy who's like all smiles. I try not to be negative, but you know what? Fine. You put us in the spot, we got to do it. I think Severine might be the one for Onic. Honestly, they work really well together as a team. It's just that Severine is the guy who really plays a lot of those defensive positions. You know, sometimes it's the Viper, sometimes it's the Chamber, depending on the map. And he just doesn't see that much action. So we tend to see Monyet pop off a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, you want to flip it to me for Team Secret? Okay, for me, for Team Secret, I'd have to give it to Dispenser, but only because of his performance yesterday. Only because of yesterday. It felt like he was a little bit lackluster. He was a little bit lost in the sauce, I believe. He had to be taken out and replaced by Jeremy to see an extreme change in pace. And I think this is the dynamic of the six-man team, because if you have a player that doesn't feel it that day, they can switch it out.
And those were the two answers that I think I was looking for yesterday. Severine finishing -12, -12 in terms of plus-minus ratio. Opposite side, Dispenser, who did get subbed out and only played 2 games, -14. So those are two kind of sore spots for both those players that have a lot of other responsibilities, not just fragging out, but had games that they wanted to forget. Again, I think Key brought it up. It was, what, 12 kills in 2 whole matches? So that was not the best performance. They make the swap out, and Jeremy had himself a pretty good day there for Team Secret. For Onic, you just got to play better. There's no one else behind you here.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So, prediction time, y'all. Only one of these squads can move on. Who you got? I'll go with you first, Tash.
This is really hard for me, because honestly, number one, I don't remember my prediction. But if you ask me right now on the spot after I've been doing this analysis on the desk, I would say I would give it to Team Secret.
Yes, and that's the exact same answer that I have. My Jedi mind trick worked.
Did you just?
Yes, I was like, Team Secret, Team Secret. She went Team Secret. I mean, I really do think that Team Secret just has a little bit more depth than Onic. Yeah, they rely on teamwork a lot, but you know what? They also use tactical timeouts a lot more than Onic. Onic, we didn't see a single one from them yesterday against
Until like 10, 11?
Yeah, maybe they didn't need it, but then again, it just shows like they keep on relying on these same old strats. They keep trying the same thing again and again. It worked out against Myth, but I don't know if it's going to work out the same way against Team Secret.
Can I say something that's profoundly deep?
You can say whatever you want, Tash.
So Albert Einstein says doing the same thing over and over and not getting anything out of it is insanity. So is Onic the definition of insanity?
That's almost what it was, but yes, that's basically what it was. Was that deep?
Yeah, it felt deep.
All right. Team Secret for me as well. Again, I'm going with form over, I think, overall consistency here. This Team Secret squad has both of them. So I do believe a dubstep sighting, as well as knowing that you can always flip to the 6th man, is something that Team Secret can hang their hats on. Let's move to map select. This match is underway right now, as again, loser goes home. Winner will have themselves a break, and we'll have a break on the broadcast, and then come back and have to play Bleed what a prize for them as we get into it. Bind and Split removed, Fracture Haven selected, Icebox is sent out. Our final map then, of course, is Breeze.
Yeah, this one has me a little bit worried because I think we could see Bind and Split being banned right off the bat. Neither of these teams really prefer that, except for maybe Team Secret and Bind. But when it comes down to it, Fracture is something that we don't see that much of on Team Secret. Dubstep might be relegated to like playing Neon, which we don't see that often. He's always on the Jet, and that's where I think they're going to be out of their comfort zone. So moving on to that, like it comes down to Haven, where they really need to perform. We might actually see all 3 maps here.
Personally, I think that Onic might just take Fracture, just because of their aggressive playstyle, their very fast movement. They have really good rotations as well compared to Team Secret, who like playing slow. And we know in Fracture, what's really important is speed, speed, and speed.
Exactly. It's a chaos map. You really perform a lot
Lurk
better.
heavy.
Right? And then you got those players on Onic who really perform and capitalize off of that. Team Secret, on the other hand, we haven't seen that much of it yet. Maybe they left it open for a reason. Maybe they actually have something up their sleeves. But, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see if they actually can do that.
All right, well, we'll see how this match shakes on up, and of course, who the starting roster for Team Secret will be after we take this short break. It's elimination time, Team Secret and Onic G after this.
Ini nonton? Nggak ada. Subhanallah. Ini namanya aja usaha menawarkan. Nggak ada itu.
Jesse Bash and I play Initiator for Team Secret. Favorite round or highlight ko this year, yung pag may na-knife ako na kalaban. Uy!
Oh no! From the time, Jesse Bash! Mace to the face! Oh no!
Tinawag na siya ng mga supporters na Tondo Team. So, yun, sobrang trending lagi siya pagka may na-knife kami or ako. Especially ako madalas kasi nakaka-knife. So, yun. Pinaka-goal namin, pinapangarap namin magkaroon ng world title na all Filipino players champion in the world. I always dream for hindi lang kasi para sa akin for the Philippines to have world title talaga sa mga malalaking game tulad ng FPS and Moba na computer games. After LCQ champions talaga.
Everyone has their eyes on champions, but out of the 4 teams remaining after this series, there will only be 3. It's Team Secret versus Onic to get us started off in this day. My name is Pavlos, joined by Kremer on the desk to deliver this action in this best of 3. And my goodness, we are in for a treat.
You're absolutely right. These teams do look indistinguishable at times. Both Onic, you have this very aggressive Indonesian side that have had some extremely effective standout games. And when these guys are on fire, they are unstoppable. But going into the LCQ, they have looked a little bit shaky. Team Secret, complete opposite side of the spectrum. They've been playing out of their minds. We know them as one of the favourites, but we have seen some lackluster performances from them.
Yeah, both of them have kind of left some room to be desired from them. Both of them have got some sort of performances that we are waiting from them to kind of see if they are worthy of that champion spot, right? We've seen Bleed also bleed themselves yesterday, so no longer does it seem like it's one team to win it all. It's 4 teams now in contention of that spot, and the fact that these 2 teams have to play up against each other to get to that next stage, it's going to be a bloodbath. But getting things started off first, it has to be Fracture, Onyx pick, and we know this is going to be tough for Team Secret.
I mean, to be honest, Team Secret, they have a very big map pool. They're a very established team, and so I think they looked at this veto. Yes, it's not the best for them, but it's something that they can make work. And I think Team Secret and Bleed are probably the 2 teams in this tournament that have the most, the easiest time when it comes to going through vetoes. We look at the agent select here, and nothing's really catching me by surprise. It seems to be fairly standard.
It seems that Onic has gone back to their KO pick, actually,
yeah,
because last time we saw it with a Fade. Why do you like KO more than the Fade?
For me, I think KO is a little bit faster paced than a Fade is. Right. The null command is very good at preventing your opponents from doing stuff, whereas a Fade is enabling your own team to be able to execute. So KO for me, along with the flash drives, does have a little bit more effectiveness when it comes into retakes as well. So big fan of it.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure if this is the case, but I believe Team Secret haven't played Fracture this tournament so far.
They haven't.
And the composition is definitely different from what we've seen last time around, right? We kind of had an Astra Viper sort of composition last time around. Yeah. I suppose that probably was the previous meta. So we're now diving deep, fairly similar matchups. Actually a mirror comp coming into this, but attack side here for Team Secret as they do enter the A site. It's freely handed over as they get the spike plant. We'll be looking at a 5v5 retake.
And a 5v5 retake seems to be actually the normal Fracture. We saw it a lot of times yesterday, but that means that for Onic, they need these first kills, they need them quickly. Team Secret don't really have the option for a flank here, so they need to brace themselves for the full frontal assault of our Indonesian Titans.
Let's see if the adaptation of Team Secret pays off here. Seems they've done their homework so far, but it seems Onic also at the same time entering main, 3 players strong. Dagger to the side, but Borkum as well on the sideline will get caught off. Shiro putting his dent into Witz's head. Jeremy and JC Bash, the only 2 players remaining. Onic have done a splendid job not trading back themselves, right? 4 points of health for every single one of them. The Incendiary might be all they need. Aftershock could delay a little bit, but at least it is diffused halfway. Jeremy is dying to the flames. The panic, the sheer chaos, but the diffusal will be coming in on time with a second as spared. Onic with first blood.
An absolutely perfect retake from Onic there, and that was spearheaded by Munyets on that kneel. Actually not even using the additional pace there. That was just a complete move in and kill everyone as they come. Onic also doing a very good job of isolating the 1 versus 1s. Really, really strong play from the Brimstone to identify that the remaining members are probably going to be over. Some camping by Dish. That Molotov single-handedly won them what was already a 1 round, but it guaranteed it.
Yeah, and now Onic, really good start from them. I think of those picks were everything.
Yeah. For me, Team Secret though, they're going into a map they can be a little bit shaky. What their strength is being able to adapt when they're behind, which is absolutely crucial, and it was crucial in the game to get here.
Full buy ni dari
Really looking forward to seeing that now. As Team Secret looks to explode on this B side to challenge Severin.
Ini
They
kalau
probably want to do it quickly as well, because
dari
if
mapnya
they
ada
do check their back line, it may be
Ada
infiltrated
flank.
in a very quick fashion.
Monyet
Two
sama
players
Siro
coming
sama
up on
Elmimo.
it. It's Monyet to show his ground, getting the two. Dubstep does throw some
Satu.
paint shells towards the upper skies, but still,
okay.
it's just a single kill to be
Jangan
falling
nyampe
in
mati
favor
dua
of
sih
Team
kalau mati
Secret. The
dua.
rest
Kasihan.
are one-sidedly in the arms of Onic. And Borkum
Dapat
on his
Spectre,
shoal
hati-hati,
finds
bos.
himself a better weapon
Udah
to work
dipantekin
with.
sama
But apart from that,
oh
it felt like he could have gotten a
Hampir
second
tuh.
there, right?
Padahal
But
mereka
it's
cuma
all it
modal
is, just the
pistol
one, and it's
doang,
Onic
anjir.
with a second round.
Elmimo's a
Sian
bit of a
banget.
speed demon, apparently. Really nice martial kills from him there to be able to just turn 180 for that final kill. I also want to highlight how Munjet is now very close to getting a very quick overdrive. Now, we have seen Onic really like these early duelist ults. We've seen very early tour de forces when they're on Elmimore. I'd like to see the same from the overdrive. Bear in mind, you don't have very good weapons when you're on your bonus, and getting that overdrive sort of levels the playing field a bit.
Fuck drive. Oh, satu lagi.
And now it's Team Secret's chance to enter. It kind of seems familiar
Kalau
what they're trying
Team
to
Secret
attempt
masih
here.
pakai mode
That A-side push,
meta
which they
lah,
have
pakai
executed on the pistols, but
mereka
it's
bisa susah kalau masuk
bottom
set
side
nanti
and
kalau
crunch for
iya,
Onic, which
mereka
by process of
attack
elimination
susah
does
masuk
show
set
that they're
cuma
probably
kita lihat
entering
nih
different
eksekusinya
tradition or
gimana.
arcade, but as they do enter to the A side, the
Ah,
ball is given over from Elmimore. He doesn't even need
Karena-
to see his opponents and still ends up getting a kill. And all the
sama sih
important one,
sebenarnya,
giving
cuman
Onic a chance.
lebih enak,
Just think
lebih
of it.
murah
Look at the
pakai
flank of Jeremy. He's
si-
attempting to catch out Severin, but little does he know Severin's already pushing down by Ditch.
lupa pula aku namanya si itu
And
sering pakai
Wits
monyet tuh.
unable to actually
Neon.
get the kill there. May be in trouble. Ooh, Elmimore with another. This could be a
Berarti kita
pistol
cuma
win.
butuh satu smoke.
And they're blocked out from the smokes. Aggression from
Tangan
Elmimore.
musuh.
And there could be a
Ah.
kill for him. No, JC
Tangan
Vash says a big
kalau
no to that
pakai
aftershock
smoke kan butuh dua.
available to be used. But it's taking a while, therefore the diffuser may come
Posisinya
through.
jelek nian.
It has come through halfway though.
Kalau terusin,
Team
kalau
Secret still
terusin.
have plenty of players to try and disrupt this, but they
Terus,
cannot.
terus.
Not in
Nice,
time.
bonus
Jerry
yang
might be
kalau
getting a couple there, but it's Onic to come out top with the victory.
An absolutely beautiful retake there.
Kencang,
Retake
Bagus
from Onic
bonus.
there. And what I love is the fact that once they
And
identified that
what I love.
Elmimore was going to be challenged by Jeremy on the flank, rather than actually trying to kill the player on the flank, they just started committing the flashes. They started deploying the utility from the Neons to just disrupt them, followed by the flash drives on Severin, and it meant that Jeremy couldn't justify swinging from spawn, meaning Onic were able to just focus on Dish, take the 1v1s as they come, and stick that defuse. An absolutely incredible start from them.
Tuh,
And for Team
Grimson
Secret,
nggak mungkin
the
kayak
buy is
dia
going to have
yang
a vandal to it,
main-mainan
so
dulu
you
kan.
can't underestimate
Harusnya dia,
what Jeremy can do here. But for me, Dubstep needs to get that showstopper on that as quick as
timing,
he
timing.
can. If he can
Scott.
pop off on this race, he can mitigate the
Scott.
effectiveness Munjet is
Nice.
having so far, because right now he is ready for a lights-out game.
Coming into this
Mereka masih
Team
di
Secret, I
spawn.
think they've already
Spawn.
kind of they've already been feeling a bit shaky. Yeah,
Ini
we can
mereka
see
tuh
they put some
selain
practice into
apa
this
ya?
new composition.